And we're back. Well, I just invited my friend Dan Warren. I've never had him on, but me and Dan, we now and then we message each other, and I always enjoy Dan's posts, and it's very well done. It's very professional. So. Um, I would like to, talk to him about these current events because I know he's an enthusiast about the Mussolini UAP. We've talked about it, and I think I even sent him some information on it. So, you guys, um, if you are here, please leave a comment or two or whatever. I'm very excited for this. I am not sure if this interview is still ongoing at the moment, but I think the big interview is going to be this Wednesday or Sunday. Please comment on that if you guys can see. Bodies, baby. Do tell, do tell. Were there bodies? I've heard something about bodies, so I'm not sure if I can talk about it right now. But let me see what you guys saw because I'm experiencing a geo block for Europe or Holland or whatever. But I cannot jump into whatever is being broadcasted on a News Nation at this time. Anyways, well, I'm gonna light up a ciggy. You guys should know I do that. It's very unhealthy. Anyways, I got to cover this stuff in the Netherlands. Hmm. He called them pilots. Oh, he did talk about the non-human pilots. I already knew that, but I didn't know it was already broadcasted. But he did talk about it. Anyways, I'm glad whatever is happening. Is that you, John Ramirez? If this is the real John Ramirez, please stand up. Anyways, guys, I'm so happy you guys are here, and it's a historical day. Yeah. So let me see what we have here. Cold Heart said there are two parts, a TV version and an uncut version, sometime next week. Aha. I think that one, the uncut version, is going to be on Sunday. That's going to be the one. Mm. I might have spoiled something, but I hope you guys didn't pick up on that. It's definitely on, guys. It's definitely on. A lot happening. I hope my buddy Dan is going to jump in any moment. I think I did send him um, a link. I hope it's working. Um, let me see. Maybe I fucked up. Uh, yeah, this should work though. Let me see. All right. No, it's the same thing. Well, he's gonna pop up if he's gonna pop up. Anywho, um, so I got to cover this stuff in the Netherlands. I was filled in by a source. There was something going on, and so 2 weeks ago, my source, just called me out of the blue, said, "Come to The Hague, which is the political capital in the Netherlands." And I went there, and I knew whatever you guys saw and experienced today was coming. And yeah, what Leslie Keane and Blumenthal said was true. It was supposed to be dropped in the Washington Post, but I think they backpedaled under pressure. Um, I'm just guessing. Anyways, um, it came out on the debrief. And it's basically forcing the hand of mainstream media, because it is being picked up. And I think they're just looking at each other right now, like who's going to go first. But the smaller ones are jumping in right now. In Holland, I'm still the only guy. I haven't heard of any European news agency covering this yet, but well, they should. It's history in the making. So, how are you guys feeling, huh? Well, they couldn't wait anymore. Um, meaning, I think that's my friend Dan. So, without further ado, Mr. Dan Warren, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, Max. How you doing today, man? Busy day, busy day.
What a day, my friend. How are you feeling?
Absolutely. I told someone earlier today, like I read it at first thing in the morning, and then
Yeah,
after that moment, there was like a tightness in my chest, more or less, where it's like, is this it? Is it really happening? This is a long time coming, and is it finally here? So I don't think it is the final confirmation or anything, but man, it gives you that rush, that feeling like you're witnessing history unfold in front of you.
yeah. Well, I can tell you this. I like my audience, they're watching right now. But 2 weeks ago, my source, out of the blue, called me up. He said, "You have to come right now. I'm going to show you something. Something is going to be dropped in a couple of weeks." That was this. And whatever Mr. Grush is telling, I saw the documentation signed by the Inspector General. So it is legit. I saw it.
That
And not just
that's the
me.
key piece of the puzzle to it for me is it's not some guy. It's he is getting the right people involved in the positions of power within the United States government to make this a worthwhile effort that is going to yield results. Like we're going to see something because of this.
Look, I'm telling you, I saw the documentation. It was official documentation. I wasn't the only one. Thank God I wasn't the only one this time. Because a couple of other Dutch journalists were invited too, and we saw this was signed by the Inspector General. These were official government papers. This, yeah, it's a real
So
deal, man.
the more this goes on, the more I learn about my own government. Like I didn't realize that there was a intelligence community inspector general. I thought there was just one inspector general office. So it seems like this is going to drag multiple different types of inspectors into the fray just to get
Mm,
an answer for what's being put forward because it's this is a topic that branches that umbrellas out to cover all the different branches of the DoD and the intelligence community. It's going to touch
yeah.
them all. Uh, Interesting.
Well, it's gonna definitely force their hand right now, right? Because
Yeah.
you see people looking at each other, especially mainstream media, but also I think in the political realm of the spectrum. Um, you know, I think everybody is just waiting for the other to jump on this. So they're not going to be the first one to vouch for whatever is being disclosed right now. Yeah,
So, what I'm looking forward to is starting to see the congressional side of the conversation to speak louder. We've seen like Kirsten Gillibrand start discussing this, Marco Rubio, and all those people have. When are they going to grab a hold of this aspect of the discussion and take it to that next level? Because it seems to me to be pretty clear what the DoD and the ICE were doing is they were trying to hide these programs within other programs to prevent them
yeah,
from having congressional oversight. So at some point when the Congress realizes that's the games that these people were playing against them, they're going to realize that they've gone rogue a little bit in this particular aspect. I'm not going to paint them with a broad brush and say like they're bad guys all around, but for this
mm,
particular incident, it seems obvious that they're doing something they shouldn't have been doing behind Congress's back.
for sure. And there's another crazy detail because I have been covering this for a while. So I talked to the late Senator Harry Reid, and he basically, well, this is not a secret. He was kept in the dark, really. For example, he paid for, or anyways, he got the finance. the finance for ATIP, right? But
with
apparently,
Stevens and Inouye,
sorry,
with Ted Stevens and Inouye, the other two
yeah,
senators.
yeah, I guess, but it was a mere $22 million,
Correct.
which is not a lot of money. So then he had to involve Mr. Bigelow, and I think he was. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to fix this light. But he was, that's the way he tried to research this. But apparently, um, the organization we're talking about right now was sitting on this information way longer. Didn't inform the Senate at all. Like Mr. Reed for sure didn't know what the hell they were sitting on information. Um, it looks like. What do you think about that?
I think that the sentence that jumped out to me in the article was that I think it was Gotch, and I'm going to not be able to pronounce his name correctly. Gouch. He
Yeah,
said basically that behind the
golf.
scenes, there's a Cold War going on to try to collect this material and then reverse engineer it and then apply it for their purposes. So it seems like that would be something that would be the justification for them to say, we don't want Congress to even know what this is. We are trying to keep this as secret as the Manhattan Project. We're trying to keep
Right.
this under wraps so that no one knows anything about it, so that no one can get an advantage over us from a different country or an adversary. And so they're just trying to move the ball forward without anyone even knowing that's what they're doing. Maybe
Yeah,
that's where a lot of this black money's disappeared to from the DoD's budget. Every year they're missing money. Maybe that's being siphoned off to help further their efforts to win this Cold War for UFO technology.
yeah, that might be one of the reasons. So a little birdie told me that whatever happens in American skies, land, and waters will probably be classified forever. But the little life hack here is whatever is retrieved outside of the American borders, no real rules for. So this might be the life hack Mr. Grush is applying, and I've heard it might be the Mussolini UAP.
That's very interesting that you bring that up. That is quite the case that has gained a lot of new life just in the last 24 hours, man.
Yeah, yeah. There must be, in Holland we say wherever there's smoke, there must be fire.
Mhm.
Um, so, what do you think about that? Because it seems like a plausible way to disclose something, right?
Yeah. So I'll make some speculations. I'm going to give it big speculation quotation air quotes around it.
Yeah.
Is from what I've been hearing from when Lou was on your show and
Hmm.
discussed it as being the crash before Roswell. When
Yeah.
I've seen comments Tom DeLong has made about the crash at Roswell was tied to the bad guys from Germany.
Hmm.
And so to me, that kind of links up like, hey, maybe it was the Mussolini UFO that had been captured and brought over to the United States and was being either flown or they were trying to reproduce its propulsion systems. And that's how that ties into the German aspect of the Roswell crash that
Well,
Tom
actually,
DeLonge was saying.
the information I was given, it's exactly what you're saying, and it is in 33 there was a crash. The Italians at the time thought it was German secret weapons, so they contacted the Germans, and the Germans said, "That's not ours." And then, there's the famous telegram to Mussolini, and the order to tell the media at the time, just tell them it's a meteorite. But the Second World War happened, and of course the Americans invaded Sicily, went way up, and got a hold of this retrieval. And well, some might say they took it home, and that is actually what is at Roswell or at Area 51. So sorry, S4.
Yeah,
But what Grush is also saying, it's not just one; it's multiple. So
that's very interesting. And this once again leads me to think about the comments that have been made in the past about crash retrievals being archaeological finds as well as crashes. And it did sound like I might be misconstruing his words, but didn't he say that it was like an abandoned? I think I read that there was an abandoned statement for an abandoned craft that the
right.
United States was able to obtain. And so that word abandoned, that could be linked into the architectural find. Like if they abandoned it 10,000 years ago and we found it, it still applies. Or I don't know how, maybe it was like the gifting theory that you hear about every now and then, where they just left it in the field and let the
Well,
United States have it.
Lazar was talking about archaeological retrieval. I remember. I
Yep.
think it was on Rogan with Corbell a couple of years ago. He was talking about that, but he was also talking about multiple vehicles they were researching. So look, I think some could be archaeological, some could be crashed, some could be not sure. I'm not sure, but I think this is the first stone of the domino effect, and hopefully, this will continue unfolding quickly.
Well, this makes me not care at all about the magnesium bismuth layered scrap of metal. Like if we've got entire craft, let's stop messing around with the little scraps and see what a complete ship looks like.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very interesting because if they have been reverse engineering or researching this exotic material basically, and even if they got like maybe a half of percent of information or technology from that, it's very plausible it's actually being applied right now, like my damn iPhone or something,
Yeah.
something like that. But that's just um, a theory, but it could be. There's very advanced technology. They have been sitting on, and what is it, and what is there to gain from that?
Yeah. Well, it go back to Gary Nolan's recent talk where he said just a small piece of silicone that was used a long time ago kind of was the catalyst for the current technological advancements that we've had since then. Just all the computers that are now becoming omnipresent in our lives that I'm talking to you on right now all
For sure, yeah.
came from 1 grain of silicone being investigated, analyzed, and someone said, I can come up with a use for that little piece of silicone. And maybe that's what we are possibly experiencing or could experience in the future with a recovered craft. Maybe
For
it's not.
sure.
We figure out the propulsion. Maybe they have one small piece of something that we can investigate and find a rational human capable use for, so that we can start applying it to our lives and our civilizations. That would change the way that we live. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? So then, what is the one thing you are waiting for right now to come out of this? What would be the thing you would be most excited about?
Well, let me clarify the question. When you say out of this, do you mean this particular
This,
episode of the disclosure process, or are you talking about like what's the end game?
well, yeah, maybe both.
Yeah. Well, for this, I guess what I want to see is this event where Grouch is stepping forward and saying, "Hey, I know where the programs are and I can find them." This be the
Yeah,
catalyst that gets Congress involved and Arrow under the hot seat, or puts them on the hot seat to where they have to then ask and be held accountable for neglecting the information that this gentleman has provided. Because if
right.
he's, I think they said he was had 11 hours of interviews with them. And if Kirkpatrick is going to turn around and say, we got nothing, there's nothing that would point me to believe that there is an extraterrestrial presence on Earth, that's
Right.
obviously obfuscation or misdirecting or lying. You can simply call it that. So
Yeah.
that puts them up against this guy. And then in the middle would be Congress to figure it out. And once Congress gets their teeth into it and they realize they've been lied to, that's the catalyst that would then get everything
Well,
to rise to the surface.
well, I guess that's the elephant in the room, right? Because these hearings were supposed to be meant for the secret services to share whatever they were sitting on, not to the civilian masses, but to the politics, right? Because they should know if something like this, is in American hands. But what do you think about this? It seems almost like of course, Wagner Group, the militant group that is fighting for Putin. It's like an entity within a nation. Sometimes it feels like something like that has been happening in UAP. It's like a small organization is in charge of some information and is leaving out, um, you know, the ever changing politics, because it keeps on changing every 4 or 5 years, right? So why would you share something with people who are going to just disappear in 4 years, and they're going to have incredible information? What do you think about that?
Yeah, so I think you just basically described the Collins Elite, the Invisible College, and Majestic 12. That's the rumored
Yeah, maybe.
bodies that kind of ran the UFO programs behind the scenes for years.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then it hasn't come out because they've done a good job, because they're the part of the deep state that doesn't
Yeah.
turn over like politicians do. So politicians are basically temporary employees.
Right.
The deep state are career employees. So there's a big difference there. And so
Yeah.
I absolutely think that could be something. If the deep state deems that those representatives don't have a need to know, they're never going to know. That's just plain and simple.
Right. 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 And also, maybe you don't want to compromise giving up so much information to people. You cannot really clear as being safe to keep information like that for the rest of a lifetime, right? So yeah, must be a hard one.
Yeah.
uh so um it is something, it's almost surreal to me. For me, I've been waiting for some information like this for so long, and it's almost like an ambush. It just, like, out of the blue, boom, it happens, right? it's it's something you almost thought was never ever gonna happen, and it looks like it's happening right now. Yeah, I feel almost like a little bit of shell shocked. How do you feel?
Well, like I said, I felt like I had tightness in my chest almost all day long, because it did drive that anxiety level, because it's like, hey, is this the tipping point? Are we witnessing the tipping point where this is not going, the toothpaste isn't going back in the tube? Like, is this that moment that changes things forever? Because if it is, I just want to wallow in it. I want to absorb it. I want to enjoy it. I want to let it rain down over me. It's great.
I want
But
to see the
yeah,
aliens.
yeah. So one thing, I can't stay much longer. I got to go here in just a minute. But one thing I did want to say is, as I was watching that NASA presentation a few days ago,
Right.
in my mind, I was going, I wonder if this is how they would present it if they said, "Hey, we're not alone." Would they
Right.
fill the room full of scientists and well-respected individuals, and then have someone, hopefully the president of the United States, stand up and say, based on the collective of our group, we have come to the conclusion that we are not alone, and here's this, that, and the other. And then he can duck out of the way and let them start talking, because I don't think he's going to have enough knowledge or
Well, I
whatever to
think
be able to have a conversation.
I think one journalist asked Joe Biden once about UAP, and he just ran.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
ran. It was hilarious. Um, but um, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. uh, well, it would be amazing if the president would react to this. But do you think he's gonna?
No, I mean, it took
No.
so long for him to respond to the balloon gate. Like, I mean, we had basically, I think, shot down all four of them before he even approached the microphone to discuss it. And he basically said, just sit down, calm down, and we've got it from here. Don't ask questions. We'll tell you what you need to know, is the takeaway that I had from it. So I don't think
I
he is, and he didn't take any questions afterwards. So I think
no.
he's not gonna take the lead on this one for sure.
And I also think they're not telling Joe Biden anything really. you know, I think I think he's just like let's say the face of a nation, but I'm not sure if the guy is mentally there, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to broach that subject in any way, shape, or form. But I just, for political reasons, I don't think he would be kept. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate. Like, this is probably one of those things that's not going to be top of the list. There's a lot of things that are
I
going
think
to
Joe's just
impact
thinking about
his.
not dying.
Yeah, and getting reelected. He wants to get
yeah,
reelected again.
yeah. Well, he wants to get reelected again.
Yeah, he's
How
announced that
old?
he's going to run for it. Well, I want to say
He's
86. I
146 years
could be
old.
wrong. Yeah, he's pretty far up there. But
Yeah,
I look at it like, hey, maybe he's doing that, and if he gets reelected, he'd step down, and then Kamala Harris would become the president, and she could take it over, and it would be a monumental win for the Democratic Party for years to come. So that's
yeah.
my other um, random conspiracy theory that I've got no basis for that, except for my own guesses. But
Well,
hey, man, I gotta run.
right.
I got a obligation
And
that I gotta
thanks
go
for
to.
jumping on, buddy. And we'll do this sometime again, but more
All right, man.
longer. Bye. Ciao.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you.
Bye. 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 Right. So my buddy Dan jumped on. Um, good conversation. And well, guys, a lot happening. A lot happening. Let me see what is going on Twitter. Um, let me see. Well, you guys, it's a historical day already. Um, so um, let me see if there are some cool comments. Hey, Christian, my buddy Christian is here. Christian Thompson. He was in Amsterdam, by the way. We had a great time. And I will go to Denmark sometime. I hope soon. Um, so um, let me see if there are some cool comments. Yeah, for sure. Well, Dave Grush is a good start, but look, really, it started with Mr. Lou Elizondo. He said the fundaments. It was the first, and I think he might have, set the fundament for all of this, and of course, um, he also got a lot of the hard times, but now, uh, David Grush is coming out, which is actually complementing whatever Lou started. And, it's an interesting development. And we should never forget that, this guy was the face of disclosure for many, many years. And, he was discredited, the last couple of months he was being a public figure, which wasn't really fair, I guess. Um, but we'll see. We'll see what comes out of all of this. Mm, so people are asking about the evidence. Well, I did see some official documents, but not just official documents. Like Secret Service heavyweights, political heavyweights are vouching for whatever he's saying. So it's in a, never say, you know it's proof, it's facts, always keep a skeptic mind, but look, man, we're really getting there now, and we just have to watch whatever comes out of this. What would be great is if there's some real proof, or maybe footage, or documentation on the crafts we have, maybe even expired bodies. They kept. It's something we have to wait for. Mm. So it's getting pretty late here in the Netherlands. I hope I can get a legit guest to talk about this topic with anytime soon. Anyways, for my Dutch audience, next week there's going to be a big article on whatever is happening right now. That is going to be in Revue magazine, which is a national Dutch magazine, and I hope you guys, well, my Dutch audience, I hope you enjoy reading it, because there's going to be a lot more information I'm sitting on, which I cannot really talk about right now, but it's going to be awesome. And well, you guys, thank you for watching this little thing right now. And it's been a good half an hour. Let me see if I can get one more guest. If he's available, it would be cool if my buddy Andy can jump on. Let's see if he's available. Where is he? Um, where is my buddy? There he is. Want to jump on? Well, if he responds, I will, get Andy in. But I think he might still be working. But usually he responds pretty quickly. Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Do you guys have any questions? Maybe. If you have, I can try to answer them for you. So um, let me see if there's any new developments going on. Well, I didn't get to see. We are definitely not alone. Yeah. Well, well, well. Well, okay. So something is going to be on YouTube. Well, whatever was broadcasted today is going to be on YouTube tomorrow, probably. Well, if there are any breaking things going on right now, please let me know in the feed. Um, okay, here. Oh, here's a question. How likely do you think this whole disclosure thing is just a psyop? Well, there's always that possibility, but they'd have to fake official documents, and then there's going to be a lot of people involved who have a lot to lose, from the military to the politics. So, well, if this is psyop, I would like to know what is there to gain by saying or claiming something that's so out there. Um, and I do think this friction that's going on within the politics and in the DoD, this is not something that's a good look for the outside world as a country. So there's nothing to gain by like publicly fighting about this as a nation. So, well, what is there to gain with a psyop like that? I don't think there's anything to gain. So I I think this is there's something going on. And I see there's an extended clip on Twitter. Man, maybe I can share the screen and look at and watch it with you guys. But you know, let's see. Look at that. This is what I like to hear. I feel great. Keith Taylor. I feel great too, man. It's amazing news. And so let me see. Um, oh, right. Just watched it. He says we have bodies and craft. Yeah, I knew. I already knew about the bodies. I just didn't know you already told it. Yeah, apparently there were two non-human pilots also recovered in Italy, and this is what I'm talking about. This is why I keep on talking about the Italy case because apparently that is what the Americans retrieved during the Second World War. Yeah, and another birdie told me they looked Nordic. So yeah, this might be the reason why the Italians thought it was Germans. But this is all anecdotal until now. I haven't seen any documentation on that, so anecdotal. Cheers to that. Mm. But he did talk about bodies. Yeah, that is really really incredible information. But yeah, yeah. So guys, look, this we are just at the very beginning of disclosure. This is a real big step. I know that, but there's so much more to come. How do you guys feel about us not being the center of the universe, being alone, and being visited? It is something. It is something. And I do think Mr. Grush also said there were several species we are of they are aware about. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what they're gonna disclose now, right? It's but it's going faster. The last year there wasn't really anything coming out. People, and that is why I didn't really feel like podcasting anymore because I don't like to just chit chat and talk in circles without anything new. I'd like to cover new information, and this is the mother of new information. So I'm very excited about that. And you know, it's like a new impulse to cover this once more. And again, the only dude in the Netherlands that is actually covering it. And well, thank God in America it's being picked up a little. And I think in Europe, all media is looking at each other and waiting. Yes, Alien Girl, a new era is here. You're so very right. Moving on now. Moving on. It's very exciting. And yeah, more people feel like that, like Fifi Barbora. Yeah. Exciting times, guys. And well, there's so much more to come in this week. So, you know, we just have to stay aware. Stay aware. A new era of hearsay. No, my friend. I saw some documentation. No hearsay. There's backup now. Real backup. Yeah, yeah. Credible enough to give names and programs. Yeah. Let me see. This is an interesting comment. I think of the galaxy like the ocean. We're just one reef. If the Earth is the pinnacle of life, then what an incredibly boring waste of a universe. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Um, you know, there could be even more boring planets out there with even more intelligent life, but there could be some very exciting ones, maybe even scarier ones, or aggressive ones, or very peaceful ones. Anyways, stuff is happening. Okay, I don't think my buddy is able to jump on right now. So, okay, maybe I'll jump on later once again, depending on, if my buddies are available at the time. But for me, it's just getting later and later. It's already like 1 in the morning over here. So, yeah, I probably have to go to bed anytime soon. My boy will be here tomorrow, my son, and well, I can be like a train wreck. So, but it's such an exciting day. It's such an exciting evening. If there's cool stuff going on, I will definitely jump on again because I can't sleep for damn sure. Fucking hell. So, um, guys, for now, I'm gonna say good night to my Dutch audience, and well, maybe I'll see you guys within an hour or so if I'm not too tired, or if there's something so amazing happening. But yeah, I might be back. All right, guys. See you in a bit, hopefully. Bye.